There is a particular kind of restlessness moving through Capricorn's sky this weekend, and it is not the kind you can fix with a longer to-do list. Somewhere between a healer's wound in Taurus, a moon sliding through Gemini, and a messenger planet about to slip into the most private house of your chart, something in your emotional architecture is asking to be renovated. Most horoscopes will tell you this is a day for chores and errands. They are not wrong, but they are missing the deeper current underneath it, the one that has been quietly running through your closest relationships for weeks now. The bigger picture, let us start with the placement doing the heaviest lifting today. In Western evolutionary astrology, Chiron, the wounded healer, has recently moved into Taurus, and for Capricorn, that shift lands in your fifth house of romance, creativity, children, and pleasure. Chiron's orbit famously crosses the paths of both Saturn and Uranus, which is symbolically fitting, because Chiron carries a little of both energies. Saturn represents limitation, structure, the walls we build. Uranus represents rupture, the sudden break that lets in new light. When Chiron moves through a house, it tends to surface the exact place where you have felt both too contained and secretly hungry for disruption. For you, that shows up around the fifth house, meaning matters of dating, partnership, or parenting may feel unusually charged right now. This placement often corresponds with situations that stretch you emotionally, whether that is a new person entering your dating life, a conversation about a partner's child, or simply an old, familiar comfort, the marital bed, the settled routine suddenly feeling like it wants renegotiation. Nothing here is fated. It is an invitation to experiment gently rather than a demand to blow anything up. Layered on top of that deeper current is a much faster-moving piece of sky. The moon is currently in Gemini, transiting your sixth house of work, routines, and physical wellness, and it forms a supportive sextile to Saturn sitting in your fourth house of home and family. In traditional Western astrology, a sextile is considered one of the easier aspects. It opens a door rather than forcing one. Practically, that means today favors small, achievable systems over grand overhauls. The energy leans toward getting one nagging task off your plate rather than reorganizing your entire life in a single afternoon. Here is where two traditions start describing the same moment from different angles. While the evolutionary lens sees Chiron in your fifth house asking you to heal old wounds around love and self-expression, the Vedic tradition, working from a different, sidereal zodiac roughly 24 degrees removed from the Western tropical one, tends to frame this same window through the lens of restless movement and indecision, particularly around travel. Two different systems, two different calculations, and yet both are pointing toward the same underlying theme, an inability to settle on just one direction. That convergence alone is worth paying attention to. Love, this is where Chiron's presence in your relationship house becomes impossible to ignore. If you have been feeling an odd mixture of vulnerability and curiosity in your love life lately, you are not imagining it. Many people with this placement report a pull toward experiences that feel a little outside their comfort zone, not reckless, just unfamiliar. Perhaps you have noticed a new person catching your attention in a way you did not expect, or perhaps an existing partnership is asking you to talk about something you would rather keep tucked away, like finances tied to a partner's children or the shape of your long-term commitment. Take a breath here, because this next part is personal. The Gemini moon's easy connection to Saturn in your home sector suggests that love, right now, may actually deepen through small, unglamorous acts rather than grand gestures. A shared load of laundry, a split errand list, a quiet dinner prepped together. These ordinary moments carry more emotional weight than they seem to. The energy favors care that is visible and spoken aloud, not silently assumed. If you have been doing all the invisible labor and hoping your partner notices, today rewards you for simply saying it out loud instead. And there is a second layer worth watching for. As Mercury prepares to slip into your eighth house of intimacy and shared resources, conversations with a partner may naturally drift toward deeper territory, where the relationship is headed, what you are building together, what you are each willing to risk emotionally. This tends to intensify a kind of magnetic pull between people who already share real trust. The bar for who gets close to you may rise, and that is not a bad thing. Shared values start the conversation, but this window favors connections that also reach you on a physical and even soul level. Career now. That emotional intensity does not mean work takes a backseat, it just means the same steady, systems-first energy from your home life extends into how you handle responsibility. The sixth house moon sextiling Saturn favors practical follow-through today, clearing a backlog, tightening a process, finishing the task that has been quietly draining your focus. This is not a day for launching something bold. It is a day for the unglamorous maintenance that makes bold moves possible later. If you are a Capricorn who has been feeling stretched between competing priorities, that scattered feeling is not a personal failing. It is consistent with the broader pull toward multiple directions running through today's chart. The fix is not forcing a decision on everything at once. It is picking the one task in front of you that frees up mental space, the way clearing a single cluttered desk drawer can make an entire room feel lighter. Handle that first. The bigger decisions can wait for clearer skies. Money. That same principle of restraint applies directly to your finances today. The energy favors wiser, more deliberate money management rather than impulsive spending or big commitments. If Chiron's presence in your relationship sector has you thinking about shared finances, a partner's obligations, joint expenses, or future planning together, this is a good day to have that conversation calmly rather than reactively. Use your commute or any in-between moments productively. Small windows of downtime are well suited for reviewing budgets or catching up on financial admin you have been postponing. Nothing dramatic is required here, just attentiveness. Health. Here is what makes today genuinely worth paying attention to. Two completely separate influences, a wellness-focused lunar transit and an ancient tradition of emotional self-management, are converging on the exact same advice. Slow down before you act. In evolutionary terms, Chiron's presence in your fifth house can stir emotional highs that feel urgent in the moment. In the more psychologically minded reading of today's sky, the guidance is almost identical. When emotions run high, think things through before reacting, and resist the pull back into old, familiar coping patterns. When two very different lenses on the same day arrive at the same core lesson, that is usually a sign worth trusting. That is the real shift. Practically, this means treating your body as the release valve instead of your usual habits. Movement is favored today: a hike, a bike ride, a yoga class you have been meaning to try, or simply some gentle back-focused stretching instead of reaching for a drink to unwind. Nourish yourself with something like leafy greens rather than the heavier comfort food option, and if you can, take any screen time outside into natural light rather than hunched at a desk. If you find yourself craving quick emotional relief today, the placements suggest your nervous system will thank you more for a walk than for a shortcut. On the subject of remedies, it is worth noting that some Vedic practitioners may recommend Saturn-related practices, certain colors, mantras, or in some cases gemstones, for individuals whose birth charts specifically support them. This is not universal advice, and gemstone prescription in particular requires real chart analysis rather than a blanket recommendation for an entire sign. What is safe for everyone, though, is intention through color, and today that means leaning into something light white specifically as a simple low-stakes way to invite a calmer, clearer energy into your day. Home and family, the same grounded, Saturn-supported energy that is helping your work routines click into place extends naturally into your home life. Chores, errands, and household responsibilities tend to flow more smoothly today, almost like pieces finally fitting into a puzzle you have been staring at for days. If you have been meaning to reach out to a relative, this is a favorable window to do it, a real conversation, not just a passing text. There is a quiet intimacy available in domestic life today that is easy to miss if you are rushing. Handling a task for someone you love and simply doing it silently might feel efficient, but the placements favor naming your effort out loud. Ask for help when you need it. Say thank you when it is earned. Suggest a small shared routine you can actually keep, rather than a heroic system neither of you will maintain past Tuesday. Love, in this particular window, feels sturdier when it is spoken rather than buried inside a checklist. Travel and spirit. This same pull toward multiple directions shows up vividly if you have any travel plans today. You may find yourself wanting to go everywhere at once, unable to settle on a single destination, while a travel companion pushes for somewhere entirely different from what you had in mind. Picture it like standing at a crossroads with too many roads lit up at once. The temptation is to solve it by picking the right one. The more useful move today is releasing the need to be right about the destination and staying flexible about how you get there. Traditionally, an auspicious window for decisions or departures today is thought to fall in the late afternoon, roughly between 4 and 5 of the clock, according to Vedic timing methods. That is not a guarantee of anything specific, just a gentle nudge for when the energy may feel most cooperative. Beyond the logistics, this scattered travel energy mirrors the bigger emotional theme running through your whole day, the sense of being pulled toward more than one path, whether that is literal geography or the emotional direction of a relationship. Staying flexible in one area tends to ease the tension in the other. Lucky signs: if you are looking for quick anchors today, lean into white as your color, since it is associated with calm and clarity across multiple traditions. The window between 4 and 5 in the afternoon carries a particularly favorable charge for decisions or movement. Compatible energy today tends to flow best with people who value both emotional honesty and shared routine, partners or friends who do not mind a little domestic ordinariness mixed with genuine depth. Today's guidance: if there is one thread running underneath every part of today's sky, it is this: the small, steady action matters more than the grand gesture. Whether it is a chore handled with a kind word attached, a financial conversation approached calmly instead of reactively, or a travel plan you hold loosely instead of gripping tightly, the placements today favor flexibility over force. Chiron's presence in your relationship sector is not asking you to overhaul your love life overnight. It is asking you to stay curious about where old wounds and new possibilities might actually be the same doorway. You do not need to solve everything today. You just need to pick the one honest conversation, the one supportive habit, the one grounded choice that is sitting closest to you right now. Handle that, and the rest of this restless, revealing day tends to settle into something surprisingly manageable, maybe even something worth coming back to tomorrow to see how it unfolds.